This paper is about the rising cost of cancer drugs in the United States. The average price of new cancer drugs in the US is more than $100,000 a year. In 2000, this was only $5,000 to $10,000 a year. This high cost of cancer drugs and the continuing increase in cost places a huge financial burden on individual patients as well as the US society as a whole. More importantly, cancer drug costs in the United States are 50 to 100% more than other countries, including other developed countries, even though many of these drugs were developed by tax-funded resources. Pharmaceutical companies usually come up with 4 arguments as to why cancer drugs cost so much. And in this paper, we go through these 4 reasons and we address these 4 myths. First, they say that the cost of developing a cancer drug is enormous, $1 billion for each new drug, and that high price of research has to be reimbursed by the cost of the cancer drug. We show in this paper how that is not true. The second reason that is provided is that cancer drugs provide a huge benefit to patients, and the benefit that they provide justifies the high cost, the comparative benefit of the drug. In actual fact, there is really no relationship between the benefit provided by the drug and the cost of a cancer drug. We have many drugs which hardly prolong life, which cost the same or more than drugs that prolong life by a year or more. Third, they say that the free market will address the problem and even the prices out. And this is one of the biggest arguments put forth by the companies. We show in this paper how the pricing of cancer drugs is really not a free market economy. Cancer drugs actually represent a monopoly for the large part. For example, if you have a pneumonia, you have many antibiotics you can choose from. If one of the antibiotics works, then you do not need the others. There's genuine competition, and that keeps prices low because companies want their antibiotic to be used. In cancer, that is not the case for the large part. Most cancers are not curable. And if a particular cancer has 5 drugs that can be used to treat, the fact that you use one drug doesn't mean that the other 4 are not necessary. In fact, all of these drugs are necessary for that patient. And in that situation, each drug really represents a monopoly. And when you have a monopoly in a vulnerable patient population, prices can be as high as the market will bear. Fourth reason that is put forth is that any kind of price control will stifle innovation and research will go down. And again, we show in this paper how this is not necessarily true. Besides the fact that many cancer drugs represent a monopoly or an oligopoly situation, there are other reasons why cancer drugs are so expensive. One of the biggest one is that Medicare, there is a law that prevents Medicare from negotiating drug prices. This allows companies to charge very high prices for their drugs, specifically cancer drugs. We also have no value-based pricing system. So when the FDA approves a drug, the price is not set by the value provided by the drug, but rather whatever the company feels that the market will bear. Companies are given patent protection, which gives them exclusivity for a period of time and prevents generic competition for their drug. Besides that, they've also found ways in which they can prolong the patent life by methods that we detail in the paper, as well as by developing new drugs which provide only marginal increased benefit but can justify the higher prices.